Hello crafty family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, we will be creating some really easy Christmas and winter holiday DIYs in a blue colorway. Now, to make sure you have everything you need, I've included the full supply list and the links in the description box. Now, to all of my amazing subscribers and visitors, I wanted to say hey, and if you are not a subby yet, what are you waiting for? You'll definitely want to subscribe to see hundreds of fresh and original craft ideas on my channel. So let's dive in and get started. Now this project is a Let It Snow a large sign. Now we're going to need one of these wood Let It Snow signs from the Dollar Tree. We're going to need one of these 10 packs of Snowflakes from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to need 2 of these signs from the Dollar Tree. Now I got these back in Easter, but you can connect any 2 signs to have a similar look. So go ahead and take those signs, and we're going to go ahead and remove all of those tags. Now we're going to connect these together to make one solid sign, and I'm going to be using the back of these. So just put the decorated side face up, and we're going to connect the center. Now I'm using a cut off scrap piece of a paint stick, but you can definitely use craft sticks to join this. I just think the paint stick is much neater and much sturdier. So add a generous amount of that wood hot glue to that stick and place it right in the center. Now when you do join it together, you want to press these 2 signs together tightly to make sure you don't have any gaps on the other side, and this is what it will look like. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and paint our sign. Now what I decided to use was white chalk paint. I only need one really nice coat of this, so I'm going to be using white chalk paint for this project. Now I'm just going to spread this chalk paint easily all over the back of the sign, just giving one nice, really clean coat. Now here is my sign, all nice and painted. It looks amazing. So now just let this sit to completely dry. Now while that is drying, what we're going to do is grab our Let It Snow sign. Now what we're going to do with this is we are going to be separating the words out from the sign, and to do this is really easy. Just take a cutting mat and a utility blade. You can get this from the Dollar Tree, and just carefully score in between the letters of the words, and each one of the words should easily come apart after scoring it a few times. And now we can take all of our words and lay it out on our paper, and we are going to be painting these, and I'm using this Admiral Blue color by Apple Barrel. Now I'm just going to apply this all over the surface of the letters, and don't forget you need to get those sides too because they will be showing in the project. And here are all of my words all nice and painted, and let those dry. So once everything is dry, we can lay it out. Here's our sign and all of our words. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to lay out our words on our sign. We want to make sure that they are nice and spaced evenly on the surface. And then I like to start adhering the words by starting with the middle word. So I'm adding some hot glue to the back of that and just carefully placing it on the board and making sure it's spaced evenly between the top and the bottom. And then I can go ahead and apply each one of these side words as well, just adding them with that glue the same way, adding the snow, and then I'm going to add the word let on the other side. And once all the words are applied, here is what it looks like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take more of that craft paper, and I am going to use it to cover the back. Now it does have that glittery design. I just think finishing the back of the projects just makes it look so professional, and especially if you plan to gift or sell these, you definitely want to cover this. It just tells your customer that you've taken that extra step and care in your project. So I'm applying the glue in just small segments at a time, or sections at a time, and as I add it, I'm going to press that craft paper on it and just make sure it gets a nice tight bond all the way down the board. And here is what the back will look like covered. So now all you have to do is to take your utility blade and glide it along the edge of the sign closely. Just trim off all of that excess craft paper for a nice even finished trim around the edge. And here is what it looks like. I just think it looks so clean and professional. So now that that's done, we're going to grab those snowflakes, and what I first want to do is cover those holes on the side of the sign. And what I'm doing is just going to glue one of the snowflakes on each end of that sign. Now, once that's done, you can add some more snowflakes however you like. I know I trimmed a few of those down just to add them here and there. I did not want to over embellish this sign since it will be sitting on a large table or buffet and it will be surrounded by other decor for my final setting. I definitely didn't want to over embellish this because I know there will be lots of decor around it. So I took a half of a snowflake and I added it above the end, and I'm also going to add another piece of the snowflake right next to the eye. You can add them wherever you like in your sign. This is just where I chose to do mine, and I think that this was just enough embellishing that I needed to do. Now, if you don't want this to be a table sign like mine, you can definitely take it and you can add some a hanger to the back with just some jute twine. Just add jute twine to the back and you'll have a nice hanger for this. But since I have this as a table sign, I'm not going to add it for this project, but it is now complete. And here it is, you guys. Oh my goodness, I love how this turned out. Now, it was so really easy to separate the words, and it looks so great mixed in with all those snowflakes. And I love the color blend between the snowflakes and the lettering. It's just so bright and festive. You guys have to let me know, how would you display this large sign in your home? Now, this project is a set of holiday wood slice decor pieces. We're going to need two packages of the wood slices, and you're only going to need 3. And we're going to need some of these blue poster letters from the Dollar Tree. Now, we only need 3 of these slices, and they come 2 in a pack. So go ahead and remove 3 of those slices and set the other one to the side. Now, what I decided to do is to make joy on these planks. So I'm laying them out on my paper, and I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of some white chalk paint on there. Now, be careful when you do apply this chalk paint. You don't want to go all the way out to the edge. You want to come within 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And here is what it looks like. You want that bark and some of that wood to be showing around the edge for a little accent. Now, once these have sat to dry, you can decorate them, and this is where those blue letters come into play. I was so excited to find these since I knew I was going to do more blue projects, and you don't have to use these letters. You can use the black ones, or you can use a cutting machine if you have one, but I'm just going to put the J-O-Y on my wood planks, and this is what I wanted. Now, you guys, I have done joy before on some of my projects, and I usually use this little quote or comma to finish out my J, but you guys, they did not have the opposite size of this little quote to use on my J this time, so I was a little bummed about that. It doesn't come in the blue, but it comes in black. So what I decided to do is just grab a letter that I knew I wouldn't be using very often. So it's usually like Q or X or something like that. So I grabbed a Q. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of figure a little loopity-loop out of my little Q just to finish off my letter J, because now I'm happy. It looks like a full letter J, and I can continue on with my project. So now I'm just going to take some of this burlap ribbon, and I'm just going to cut some pieces to make loops, hanging loops on the back, and I'm going to cut 3. Now, once I cut those 3, I'm just going to loop it around as shown here, and I'm going to add a dot of hot glue to the end just to secure it in place. We're going to do this for all 3 pieces of your burlap ribbon. Now, once that's done, we are just going to center it right at the top of the wood slice, making sure it's centered on the letter so it will hang. If you want to hang these, you want to make sure it will hang even, and do this for all of your wood slices. And here they are. So now just flip them over, and just to secure them, I'm just going to put 1 staple for my staple gun in the back where that ribbon is to make sure it is secure and doesn't move out of place. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of embellishment to each one of my slices. I have some little frosty cedar pieces and some blue beads that I already previously painted. So I'm just going to add 2 bundles of my little cedar pieces just to go together to make a bundle for the top of each one of my slices and hot glue those together. Now, once that is done, we're going to add some hot glue to the top of the wood slice, and then add one of the bundles to the top center right above the letter on each one of those wood slices. Now once those are in place, then we're going to take the beads. I'm going to take 2 beads and I'm going to put 2 beads in the center of each one of those pieces of greenery to look like little berries. I think this is the perfect little accent. We're going to do this for all 3 of our wood slices. And then once that's done, I noticed that some of the natural wood was still showing with the hole in the bead. So this is where I'm taking more of my Admiral Blue color, and then I'm just dabbing it on the inside of each one of those beads with a little fine tipped paintbrush so it's not as noticeable in the final project. And once that dries, everything looks amazing, and now you can decorate with these. And how easy was that to make these cute wood slice decor pieces? Now you can make any word combinations that you love and even create these in a different color too. Now I really do hope that you give this easy DIY a try. Now this project is a tile accent wood bulb. Now we're going to need one of these wood bulb shapes from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to need a sheet of this blue and white tile from the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to grab our wood bulb and remove all of the hanger pieces. You can repurpose this jute at the end if you like. And I'm going to take that tile, so just go ahead and remove that from the package. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay our wood piece on top and center it on the tile. And then I'm just going to trace it on with a pencil because we will be cutting the same shape out of our tile. Now once it's on there, I like to trace just outside of my marking just in case. So I'm doing that for the whole tile. So you're going to take that top layer of the tile and you want to sit it on top of the wood bulb and you want to hot glue it in place. Now just remember, you want to remove that sticky back. We don't need that for this project. We are going to hot glue this on directly to our wood piece and then trim off any excess that we may have. So now I'm going to take some more of that Admiral Blue acrylic paint and I'm going to just start dabbing it along the edge of the bulb. Now this will give it some more definition on the end and make that bulb shape stand out. Now I really thought that this was great, but I also thought about maybe cutting out the center to add an accent. So this was a last minute decision. I'm taking my utility blade and I am cutting out that center part of the tile. Now once that's removed, we have this open area here, and what I want to do is to go ahead and paint that with this blue paint. Now if you wanted to do this in the beginning, you can paint this beforehand, but since this was kind of like a spur of the moment decision for me, I'm just filling it in carefully, making sure I don't make a mess in the center there. Now once that completely dries, I grabbed one of these beautiful ornaments from the Dollar Tree. You guys, the ornaments at the Dollar Tree this year are just amazing. So I grabbed this one here. I love this silver and it had the sparkle on it. Really beautiful, very wintry to me. So I thought this would be perfect since these are winter themed DIYs. So once I trimmed it down, I'm going to add a nice little heap of hot glue to the back center, and I am centering it in the center of that cutout of this bulb. And here it is, nice and adhered. And now I'm just going to embellish the top with more of those blue beads, some silver pine cones, and some more of that frosted cedar greenery. Now, of course, adding greenery or berries or pine cones is always optional, and you can always customize this to match whatever you like. You can put a large bow at the top, you can wrap it in lights, you could do whatever makes your heart happy. I'm just adding these colors in this blend to kind of make it look very wintry and cozy. I added 3 berries to the top there, and then I'm going to add 2 of those pine cones to the side. These are the silver pine cones. They're at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add those to the side. So I'm going to make another one of those little loop-de-loops with this burlap ribbon, and I'm going to make it at the back so it'll hang really nicely on the wall or on a tree or wherever you decide to display this. So I'm going to hot glue it together and then add it to the back center at the top of this little bulb design, and my gosh, they look so great. Look at it. So now I've placed it on display and it turned out so beautiful. Now I love crafting with these tiles, and these blue and white ones are so gorgeous. Now you could just make these in so many colors, and I'm sure it'll brighten up your space. Now, along with adding a touch of that festive greenery, it makes it all come together. Let me know how you would display these in your home. Now this project is a wood and bead Christmas tree. I'm going to need one of these wood trees from the Dollar Tree and some blue and silver gift wrap from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to take our tree, remove those tags, and we're going to grab our blue and silver wrapping paper. Now, I was very impressed with this wrapping paper and how thick it was. And so when I originally cut it out, I cut a large piece because I thought I would have to do a double layer. But to my surprise, this wrapping paper is such great quality. I only needed half as much as I thought I would. So I'm going to cut a piece that's big enough to cover my entire tree, and to adhere the wrapping paper to the tree, I am using a classic school glue stick. I found this to be one of the best methods for me to adhere paper type items and scrapbook paper to different items with minimal rippling or bubbling. So I'm applying it in sections and then laying that wrapping paper on top and just smoothing it out with my hand. And then I grabbed my ball of jute twine you'll see me using to kind of help smooth it all out and get all of those edges. And then I'm flipping it over and adding a little bit more of that glue stick to those edges of the tree, just making sure all the edges are covered. And once it's all smoothed out, you're ready to trim it off. So again, I'm taking my utility blade and just carefully going around the shape of the tree with the utility blade, just trimming it nice and easy, taking your time, and then carefully removing that wrapping paper from all of those trimmed edges. And then go ahead and hit those ends of the pieces just to make sure you get those scraps. And here is the design on the tree. Now what I decided to do is I decided to add some of these silver beads. You can get these from the Dollar Tree in multiple colors, and I had silver on hand. Now I'm following along with the design of the wrapping paper. So I'm going to glue the edge of those beads to the back of the tree, and I'm following along that pattern of the tree, wrapping those beads around, spacing them about an inch or inch and a half apart, just gluing them at that top wrap around every time I make a circle around. Now you can cut these into strips and glue them, but I just found this to be so much easier, and then you don't have to use as much glue. So once you wrap it all the way around, secure that end to the bottom of the back, and look you guys, it's nice and trimmed out with this beautiful beading. So at the top, I decided to add a snowflake. So I took one of those snowflakes and I trimmed it down so it wouldn't be as overwhelming. I'm adding some glue to the center and adding it to the top for a snowflake, and that goes right into my winter theme. Now I did want to add an additional touch to this. I thought it would be awesome. After I took this, I went ahead and took a ribbon, and I'm going to go ahead and just add this to the back. This will be a hanging piece for the tree. Now I use this on all of my other projects. This is the perfect piece to actually hang it in the back. You can use jute twine, or you can add this little ribbon. So I'm going to add this near the top. So in case you want to hang it on the wall, you want to hang it on a tree, you want to lean it on like a shelf leaner or a shelf display, you could do it any way that makes your heart happy. Now, as a final touch, I am taking some of the little wire lights or fairy lights from the Dollar Tree to give this the final accent. And I think that this just totally sets this project off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unravel those wire lights, and I'm just going to twist it around the top at that first set of beads just to kind of secure it in place. I'm not going to hot glue these. I'm just going to kind of wrap it around since they're wire, and I'm following along the pattern that I applied my beads in to apply those wire lights. I'm just going to continue wrapping it around all the way to the bottom, following that same pattern. And then once you run out, you can actually just add this to the back of your tree. Now you can use the peel and stick Velcro squares from the Dollar Tree to do this. But what I'm going to do just temporarily is to actually tape it into place. You just want to use a good quality tape, and you want to tape the battery pack in, and then for those end pieces that you wrapped around that battery pack, just cross those with another piece of tape. Now the Velcro squares are awesome to use. I actually couldn't locate them at the time I did this project, but I would have definitely used those if I wanted to keep these long term. And so when I turn on the lights, look at it, it lights up on the front and it has a backlighting, which makes this project awesome. I just love this one. And here it is, you guys, a sparkly blue tree to add to this collection. Now, I do love how this turned out, and the lights are definitely the star of the show. Now, you guys, all of these DIYs were so fun to create today, and I hope that I've inspired you to get creative. Now, I really do love them all, but let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, if you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.